Hello, everybody. I'm Chachi this time. Welcome back to In Our Humble Opinion. Today we're going to go over Week 15 in the NFL season. I believe it's 15, yes. We're going to go over the Ravens and the Packers games, and then we're going to go into the rest of the league, around the league. As you can see on the screen, I have the Ravens at the Giants. They beat the Giants 35-14. Tom, you want to do your thoughts, or you want me to go first?
I'll go ahead. That'll be quick.
Yeah, not much.
Lamar Jackson, dude, Lamar. All right, number one, just how well he's, dude, his ability to pass the ball has just improved so much, and since he entered the league in 17. All right, it's kind of crazy. Dude, he was throwing some dots. All right, so let's it's nice to see Bateman. It's just nice to see some of these receivers, Bateman and stuff, just hey, they're starting to play really well. Because they always seem to be on lines post people that get beat up all the time.
Yeah.
Are easy to point out their failures. So that's nice to see. I mean, dude, that game's tough to judge anything because, man, Giants are just trash.
They're
they
bad.
have some they have a couple players that are NFL players, and then they have nothing. And it's just kind of crazy to me how they've gotten to this point. But, dude, I mean, Dayball's a good coach, I guess. I think he did make Daniel Jones okay, but it's clearly there's a culture problem there because even Malik Neighbors, he was mad because he's dude, I've been telling you it ain't Daniel Jones, and he's not wrong. Getting rid of Daniel Jones did nothing.
No, I agree.
It hasn't changed a thing. That team is just bad. It was built bad. They made a really poor choice in just saying bye, Saquon. I don't know. They just think they lost Xavier McKinney. Think they had all that talent.
Yep.
And it all walked. And they tried to replace it with, Walmart free agents. So I'm not so sure the GM's really cut out for it either. I don't know, man. It's very, very, I think the future, they have a lot to build on. But, dude, they're going to everyone's going to get fired. They're going to restart for 5 years again. But at least they have, Neighbors is a piece to build around, that's for sure. But, dude, they're definitely taking a quarterback one. If anybody thinks they aren't, crazy.
I actually think if I was taking if you're taking a quarterback,
the Ravens are balling. It's going to be interesting this game against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's kind of banged up too. They got a lot of injuries right now. Pickens, Watt, Minka.
I don't think Pittsburgh's honestly that great, to be honest with you. They're just tough.
Well, what's underrated?
The thing is, without Big Ben and Antonio Brown, that team fades at the end of the year.
Yep.
Offensively, they fade. I think their defense is still solid.
Yeah.
But they keep them in so many games. And
you're right. Not only that, I know this game's not helping with that because it's the Giants. But no offense to them, but like Tom said, they just haven't been good this year and they have no offense. But the Ravens' defense has been really good the last 5 games. Really good. They're showing up, and this is what I wanted them to do for these playoffs. If their defense is solid, they're going to be tough because they've made the adjustments too. You put a Darius Washington in there, much better at safety than Marcus Williams. Which, can we talk about how bad the Ravens, you messed up because you gave him a lot of money. They're healthy scratching him, so obviously he was not playing well. Just saying, that wasn't.
It's not guaranteed in the NFL. I would honestly it was a bad move, but the Ravens at the time were really bad at safety.
They were.
When you're desperate, that's what ends up happening. You pay more money when you're desperate. It's just like real life, folks. Make sure you have your finances in line.
Right. Okay. This is brought to you by Tom. No, but the only thing I had.
Do you have TextNet? Call Tom.
Quit being an idiot, John. Go to work.
TaxPros.com. I'm going to laugh when people that are listening actually go search for that site and they realize, and then it turns into
Tom,
something
just make
else.
a fake domain, and then you can just give people advice. It costs you nothing to listen to Tom. Okay, no, it really doesn't. Listen to our show. Just favorite, and subscribe for more of Tom. We'll start a finance channel. Anyway, let me just add a few points because I think Tom really summed it up pretty well. I think the Ravens look like I thought they would. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago when everybody was jumping off a bridge. I'm like, I think they will be fine in the playoffs just because They're tough. They don't have a chance to win every game. Now I don't know if they will. They might lose the first game of the playoffs. They might win 3 in a row. They're that kind of talented. When they play their A game and they're not getting 15 penalties and making all these mental mistakes, they're really hard to beat. They really are. And what looks like the top seed in the AFC, we'll get into Buffalo later, they beat pretty commandingly. And my thing is, you think if there's bad weather, it's going to help Buffalo? Because I don't. I think that helps the Ravens if it's in Buffalo and it's snowing. Because now you're making it a running game, and we saw they can run all over them. So my thing is, do you really want Derrick Henry to run for 200 yards again? That's my thing. I think it helps them, and then you're making the Bills play into your strength. Now you're going to run the ball a lot. And we have a good run defense. That D-line is stout against the run because now Michael Pierce is back too. So how are you even running up the middle? That big man just sits there and takes 2 blocks every time. So I'm just saying. I'll take my chances with that one. But Josh, now I want to get into this too. I think Tom and me talked about this the one day. I think Lamar is definitely in the MVP race. I do think Josh Allen should definitely be in the lead. I'm okay with that. I think the fans fighting over this are so dumb. They're both really good. Who cares? Okay, can we stop with this crap? But I do think it's disingenuous to act like Lamar's season, like Tom's saying. He guy's playing great. Anyone watching it, this stupid thing where it's like Derrick Henry's on the team, so he's not that good. It's making it easier. Do you see some of the throws this man makes? Just saying. I didn't hear none of this either when Josh Allen had Stephon Diggs and all these receivers and was throwing for more touchdowns and stuff, and nobody was like, "Oh, well, look at all the people." Yeah, it's kind of funny. But just stop. My thing is, hey, Josh is playing great. The Bills are, believe, the 2nd seed right now, but they're playing the best, so we'll see. Detroit was beat up though.
Yeah, I mean they can score. Like the Bills can score, but I'll be honest, like
their defense is terrible. Yeah,
their defense is a massive liability.
It is.
Like you can't do that. I know. Like don't get me wrong. I know Detroit's at home and all that good stuff, but that's a problem. Like, dude, even like that's the thing. Like I have hope for Green Bay playing Detroit. They held Detroit.
Tom, Detroit's
24 and 34.
Team Detroit's beat up too. They're not. That defense is not even close to what it was. That secondary is a mash.
It's kind of wild. Like, well, that's where I was saying early on in the show. They peaked too early.
Yeah,
and that didn't mean like, oh, they were just, dude. Like that's the thing about playing that brand of football. Eventually, sometimes too in the NFL, you just get
no. Tom, you called it.
Some of these things are really bad.
Tom, you called it.
Dude, when you're that physical. Yeah, when you're that physical.
Tom,
you can't when you're up on a team. Sometimes you gotta coast.
Yes, Tom. Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell, dude, you called that. He's that aggressive stuff. He still. Why did you onside kick the ball with? Never mind. That dude, you can't do that. You're gonna lose games doing that. Calm down.
I think he realized you gotta just score. He's trying to steal a possession. Like I understand what he's doing, but no. Like
no, it's too early.
That game it doesn't matter, right? It's really. I think the Detroit's. They won't be an easy out in the playoffs, but they might be. Honestly, they might lose the number 1 seed. The way things are happening. Like Jared Goff's playing unreal, but he's got some away games now.
Well, I agree with you just because they.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Remember, they got to play Minnesota again, which honestly I still don't think Minnesota's that good. Minnesota's got a really hard schedule at the end of the year, so we're going to find out soon. I think they've been very fortunate. A lot of times.
I still think Sam Darnold.
You can't argue with that.
I still think Sam Darnold. I don't care what anyone says. I think he's good, but he's got his.
Sam Darnold turns the ball over too much. Yes. He's going to kill you when it matters.
Yep. No, 100%.
It's the same with Jared Goff. You get enough pressure on him, the ball starts hitting the dirt. He can't move.
Nope.
Those are things that, and you shut down the run. And now in Detroit, you can shut down the run. They don't have. Montgomery's like so underrated with how physical he is. Like Gibbs is good, but he's not a 25 carry back.
No.
So now what?
Yep.
That changes a lot of things all of a sudden.
Yep.
And I think Goff can do it to a point, but again, you got to be able to move. He's not a good guy. He can't really move in the outside the pocket. Honestly, in the pocket sometimes. So.
Okay.
Dude, the NFC North is interesting.
Okay, let's go right into the game.
Everything's laid down and seated. The only thing I'll say is like.
Tom, let's go right into the Green Bay game. I got it up on the screen.
All the teams got to peak, or they got to play good to the end of the year and just start peaking at the right moment.
Green Bay won 30-13 in Seattle. Tom, your thoughts? We're just gonna go right into it since we're already talking about the NFC North. It's perfect.
Yeah.
We'll let Tom go. This is his team. We're gonna let him roll.
It was, dude. Defensively, it was nice to see them get sacks against a bad offensive line. Like it was like you saw Devontae Wyatt look healthy. You started seeing some guys like with some juice. And I was like, this is nice. This is fun. I was shocked how many Packer fans were there. I was like, what is going on?
That is wild.
Seattle fans. But I mean, that was cool. Way to make it a home game, Packer fans. Love you guys. Jordan Love, again, like, he's playing really efficient. Man, that offense goes through weird lulls, though. Like, in the second half, I was like, they just, Love's playing really good. Like, guys, like, he's worth every penny they gave him. I still truly think they have a wide receiver problem. I think it's nice getting Dobbs back. It's crazy, like, he's all of a sudden, he gets 2 touchdowns and it's a good weapon. And when I say wide receiver problem, it's they have too many weapons. Mm-hmm. They don't know who to get the ball to. Like the ball to, which is good because I think in the playoffs that makes it this crapshoot of who's going to go off. Mm-hmm. But in the regular season, I think it kills them.
Gotcha.
I really do. There's sometimes I think it's nice to be like, like the Ravens. You have Flowers, Bateman, Andrews, and Likely, right? Mm-hmm. In the pass game, like Andrews and Flowers are going to get a lot of touches, right? And a bulk of,
Yeah, Likely's
passes.
like your Likely's your big play guy, like, and Bateman when you need one.
Well, even think, like, the Packers have Tucker Kraft.
Love him.
I honestly wish they would feature.
Love him.
He's going to be like a George Kittle.
Dude, he catches everything. Catches everything. Love him. Love him. Hello? Tom?
It's not like he's like, but he leads the league or he's tied for the league in touchdowns at tight end. Like, the thing is, like, he's a beast. But, like, that's the thing. Like, Green Bay's offense almost has, like, too many options. Mm-hmm. And I think at times that makes it complicated but
Love
I also
Josh
don't
Jacobs,
know,
too.
like, I don't know. Like, I'm not ready to say that, like, I'm not ready to give up on on the Christian Watsons or even the Dontavian Wicks guys because I think they have a lot to offer and I just don't think they've been like featured the way I think they would be.
Yeah. Agree.
But Green Bay's just got to keep taking steps, and that was a big win for them because they're going to play on the road in the playoffs. That was supposedly supposed to be a hostile environment, and which was mostly Packer fans, which is kind of funny. But they beat a team in the NFC over 500 this year. It's kind of wild that they haven't, but it's like, well, the NFC North really is where all the wins are stacked in the NFC right now. They played Philly, which they played them close, and honestly, I think I'd love to take my shot at Philly again. I'm not scared of them. Honestly, Green Bay's not scared of anybody, so Green Bay's really interesting. I think for them to make a real run, that offense is going to have to get hot. Mm-hmm. I don't trust the pass rush. I still don't. I'm a little scared when you play like a Philly, where number one, you got to contain Jalen Hurts to really make him throw, but also, are you going to get pressured? Like but I think the things that are really, dude, the one guy I really want to highlight though, Edgerrin Cooper, man, he is seriously going to be a star in this league. That guy is unbelievable. And I don't understand how he still only got half the snaps on defense. He had like 7 tackles, a sack,
who are you talking about?
And a pick.
Tom,
he almost hit 2 picks.
Tom, who are you talking about?
The inside linebacker, Edgerrin Cooper.
Oh no, he's really good. Yeah.
He's NFC Player of the Week or Defensive Player of the Week, dude. That's like.
Sorry guys, I had to get something to my wife. She was trying to fix something.
No, you're good, man. No, like, I think I'll be really curious if Green Bay can get Jair back at all. Honestly, at this point, you need him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he just needs to get some playing time. I don't trust, like, a piece coming back from a PCL. That's hard.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't really know. I think they're holding on for hope, and he might, like, in practice is one thing, but, man, doing those hard cuts in a game is just another animal. I don't know how I feel about that one. he's going to be a really interesting topic of discussion in the offseason because
that is.
It sucks when he plays. Like the past 2 years, his snaps per season have declined because of his injury problems, and I just don't know. But that, I think, would unlock that pass rush even more. Because now you have this bona fide corner. If he can play at the level he can, right? Now you got an all-pro corner that can truly lock someone down.
Yep.
And, yeah, that's where I get really interested. So, but, like, defensively, that was a great game. They did what they needed to against Geno. They got pressure, and he gave them the ball, and then he got hurt. And poor Sam Howell, man, that guy looked like a deer in the headlights out there. He was just kidding. I was like, dear Lord. But, like, I think Green Bay's killer right now is there's weird lulls in the game where, like, they almost, I think, like, they got up. Like, they got to learn to finish.
Gotcha.
And I think this is just, like, a young team. And there's just moments it's like, guys, you know, they're up, 17-3 or something at half, or 20-3. I don't know. Man, and they got that ball the first drive. They did some dumb things, and you're just like, man. And even like the sense of urgency at the 2-minute warrant or the 2-minute drill, they let like 60 seconds run off the clock because. And LaFleur said he messed up the play call because he was given like a choice at the line instead of just them running a play. And dude, like, you know, to read the defense, do everything. The clock, like, you know, Love ran 60 seconds off the clock. They threw a deep ball, they get a PI. Well, they only have 4 seconds left, so now you have to kick a field goal. It's like that in a playoff game could kill you.
Yeah, not true.
That's where you need to score a touchdown, and those. That's what I mean. Like, you can't do those things, and I don't always know. Those are the things lately that I think get under my skin with like LaFleur and the play calling and what's going on. Is like, you know, there's dumb challenges. Like, he's 0 for 6 in challenges this year. I swear I'm gonna just tell him, like, someone should take the flag from him because it's just stupid. He literally challenges spots all the time. The one he challenged this week, I kind of saw what he was like thinking, but it's like, dude, that's gonna be really hard to overturn. Anyways, I haven't seen them. That's, I think, what's probably scary for the NFL is the Packers haven't played a complete game, but they're like averaging 30 points a game the past like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of terrifying if you really think about it. But I will tell you that will kill them in the playoffs. I really believe that. If they can't figure that out, they will exit early because of that. And I think they have as good of a shot as anybody in the NFC because I don't truly think even the elites are that great.
I think in general this year, both sides, AFC and NFC, I don't think there's a great team. I think it's going to be a wild playoffs. I really think it is. I think every game's going to be worth watching because I can tell you I don't know who's going to win each game. It's going to be really, really good games. Really good. I agree with Tom.
Honestly, Crouch, I feel that way every year.
Yeah, no. True.
There's a dominant team. I have yet to see a team like the 07 Patriots.
No, I agree.
In the past.
Well, I always go.
Since then, the NFL has become a big parity league.
Tom, I go all the way back to like the 90s Cowboys are like the last team I remember being just that good, where it was like they could lose a game in like September, and you're like, you know, when the time comes, they got the horses. Like, you ain't. Like, this team's ridiculous. Do you remember that team? Their linemen were all like 6'8".
Oh yeah,
they're ridiculous. Like,
dude, I was watching highlights of they had Favre in that '94 championship game. It was '94, '95.
Yeah.
Oh man, number one, like, dude, Brett Favre is still my favorite Packer quarterback in my lifetime. Like, that man, dude, some of the throws in the cannon. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, it just makes you're just like, whoa. Like, honestly, like, Rodgers had a lot of good qualities, but man, dude, Favre, like, that arm was really special. Just like his grit and love for the game. But dude, those Cowboys teams are ridiculous.
They were, man. Every defense,
offensive line, like, they just pounded on the Packers defense, and you're just like, there's not much you can do.
Dude, their defense, and Aikman was underrated because when you needed to make a throw every time, first down. Or hell, their fullback and their tight end were good. I'm like, that team was just like, my God.
And you had Michael Irvin too on the outside.
Tough,
like that
yeah.
guy's just tough to cover the whole game and like keep him quiet. You know.
Oh my
They
God,
didn't have to throw it much. They just needed to do it enough.
Dude, you couldn't even see Emmett. Just they were so big. Emmett would be like 8 yards down the field. You find like, oh, there's that little fuck. We gotta grab him.
Yeah.
And he was really good anyway. But I'm saying.
Yeah, dude, the NFL, there's just so much parity in the playoffs anymore. Like, honestly, like the Chiefs, if anybody really thinks that they're going to, I mean, they could win the Super Bowl again, but dude, you can't, they're the only team, there's 4 teams in the NFL that haven't scored 30 points this year in a game. The Chiefs, the Raiders, the Patriots, and then, I don't know if it's the Browns, some other team.
This is a different discussion.
So, like,
this is a different discussion to get into, like, with the quarter.
It's not going to happen.
No.
It's not going to happen. I just like when they have to play the Bills and truly put 30 up. They better have the greatest defense. They don't have the defensive players to, they have a good, solid, disciplined defense, but they're not good enough to hold someone under 30. I just don't believe it unless the Bills just give it away, which that I can completely see happening.
Well,
that is real.
Yes, they lost the because here's the thing with Josh Allen, and I do like him, but we have seen in the playoffs some big play. We would get on Lamar, and that's fair. But Josh Allen in these playoff games has made mistakes at big parts. He has. It is what it is. He has to come through for them, and their defense, like Tom said, is the main problem. That is. I don't know what's going on with their defense.
Dude,
I do,
but
the Bills are. That defense is.
They're built to play with a big lead.
Yep.
Like that's the thing, and they're small.
Yep.
They're not.
No, 100%.
They lost like Edmonds and these guys. They're a much smaller defense.
Their linebackers are tiny. They really are.
Like, look, Hamlin has had a really good year, but seriously, like every time he tackles somebody, I get scared that that's glass hitting like steel.
Yeah. No, true.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else feels that anxious too, but I'm just like, oh my God.
No, but Tom makes a good point. I think I made it a couple of times. If you watch them though, the one guy that has on that team been really good is Hamlin. He never misses tackles. He's always saving like Tom said. They're small. You know how many times I see him tackle a guy that's got like a big hole and he stops it.
And that's where I think if Kansas City they get Pacheco back, if he can kind of get in a groove the next few weeks.
Yeah.
And they the Chiefs learn to run the ball again.
Mm-hmm.
That's all of a sudden. They got Kareem Hunt, who's now more of he's kind of crazy.
Scat back.
He's more of like a power back.
Yeah. He is. He's pretty. He's still really solid. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, you're starting to see. That could be interesting, and if they start to learn to play keep away, because that's kind of what Green Bay's offense is right now. What I was really impressed with this week is they stayed true to their identity the first couple drives, and they ran the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Seattle Chris Collinsworth is right about this. I don't like to say he's right a lot, but he goes, the most demoralizing thing as a home team is when a road team comes in and just pounds you for 2 straight drives.
Oh, Jacobs is really good.
You, and it is. That's where all of a sudden I can see the Chiefs. It's just a question, and I think the Chiefs and Andy Reid and Mahomes will do it.
Oh, yeah. And I like Mahomes. In the big spots he's going to make the big plays. I do think it's interesting though that, and I know he has a lot of accolades, but he has not played well this year, and it's just got to be fair. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, well, they're running into the problem I said 4 years ago.
Yep.
When the Packers had to sign Rodgers after that first Super Bowl, that contract, it's a massive cap hit. You can't make the moves you want. You also have,
Also, Hollywood's coming back, so maybe that'll help him too.
Yeah, but Hollywood's okay. These are okay receivers.
Okay, yeah.
This isn't when you had Tyreek Hill, when you had a young Hall of Fame Travis Kelce. Yep. You had those are guys that were oh boy.
Yep.
Honestly, in a game, come on, dude. I think Green Bay, Green Bay doesn't give up deep passes, right? The way they play cover 3, bro. Hollywood Brown ain't making a difference in that game.
No,
the only thing that'll make a difference is honestly who's their other tight end, 84, Watson.
Watson, yeah.
Is it Watson or is it Gray?
I thought it was Watson.
That's the guy that I would be. It might be. I don't really watch Chiefs games, to be really honest with you. I see highlights, but
thought it was Watson.
Those are the guys I think that are like scary because like Kelsey's okay. He's kind of turned into Jason Witten, just turn around and he's going to be there for 5 yards. He's really lost a step. I mean, he really has. Like no offense to him, he's gotten old. He's been in the league a really long time.
No, I agree.
It happens. Father Time is undefeated. Yeah, but the cap is a reality. And and it's hard now when you're paying Mahomes the amount of money you're paying him, and he has to do it all. And and it was the same with Rodgers. Like, remember in 2015 when all of a sudden they got a couple injuries, and then like their offense was just having a hard time, and because Rodgers wasn't young anymore, and you're like, oh, this is a problem. And like Devontae Adams hadn't developed into who he was.
Yep.
Right? Like that was actually a sophomore slump. 14 was so unique because, like, you had this, Eddie Lacy was just a year off of his rookie of the year, and he wasn't fat yet.
Oh.
And, do you remember how big he got?
Yeah, the big fella.
Left guard, but he was still great. Like, I still loved him. I think Green Bay should have still re-signed him for like a year deal because I think like that was awesome. Like, and then Nicole Weatherman, he was explosive, man. He was just like Jerome Bettis, but a little heavier.
Yeah,
probably
absolutely.
Still faster.
Right. Oh man. How about Sterling Sharp, man? He might make the Hall of Fame. I was so happy when I saw that.
Let's go. Yeah, dude. Well, like, that's what's so crazy, man. Think if Favre got to play with Sterling a little longer.
Oh yeah.
That would have been incredible.
Yeah.
Because think even when like Favre was like winning MVPs, like Antonio Freeman, old Andre Rice.
Yeah. Brooks.
Mark Chamorro was the guy, and then their running game, like Dorsey Levens, was solid, and so was that.
And Bubba too. Don't forget about Bubba Franks.
Those ain't household names. That's all I'm saying.
Bubba Franks, my friend. Bubba Franks. Don't forget him. Big Bubba.
Dude, Bubba Franks, the slowest tight end that had stats. God, he was so slow sometimes.
He could catch though. He had those hands, Tom. That's all you need.
Dude, his hands.
All right.
Yeah,
guys, we're gonna go around the league. Guys, we're gonna go down around the league now. Go around the league. Everybody, ready? We're just gonna go around the league, spitballing. Tom, anything catch your eye this week? Hello? Oh, I didn't know if you heard me.
No. I was thinking about how I'm gonna put this. Like, it's kind of interesting. Like with Rodgers, I haven't really followed him. And honestly, I don't really care about what success he has or failures with the Jets. It's different with Favre. Like, I actually, genuinely cared for him to do well because I wanted people to really understand the greatness of him. Rodgers, I really didn't care. I was like, he kind of got what he deserved, and this is what it is. It was cool to see him and Devontae go off, again, against a bad defense. But, I think people forget how good those two were for a long time together.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool that he got, Devontae got his 400th touchdown, and then Rodgers got Devontae his 100th. That was pretty cool. But, I don't know. I'll be really curious how that all shakes up this offseason. I can't imagine that. I don't even honestly know if either one of those two are going to be back in New York. I don't know if Devontae really wants to be there because that team ain't winning anytime soon.
No, not at all.
Dude, being the Jaguars, that's a mess too. Gosh, I have a feeling you're gonna coaching carousel. I think this offseason. I honestly think Pierce is gonna be out with Vegas, which is kind of wild because everybody was like, "This is the guy," and it's I don't know. That's interesting. The Giants, I think Dayball's going to be a casualty just because of the situation.
Oh, I agree. I think the Vegas one just seems like it because it's on point, on par with what they do. They're going to fire them and they make probably another mistake. It's just that's a mess. That's a mess. I'm I don't know about it. It's that team. They still don't have a quarterback. They have no identity. They're weird. They're a weird team, man. But it was nice to see them have a old school game with those two. But like you said, it was against the Jaguars, so I'm kind of just whatever. I didn't really watch much of that game. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was kind of the toilet bowl for last week. Who cares? draft pick status, But it was nice. Also, we kind of like around the league just seeing like the Rams are actually doing pretty decent now. They're 8-6. So really kind of, I think they're a scary team too, because when Stafford and them receivers get going, they'll be tough in the playoffs. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the Commanders at the Saints, where I was watching the game and blatantly saw they stopped the clock for 3 seconds. These referees are just terrible. I don't know what they're doing. I don't sometimes. I don't think they know what they're doing. It's not good. I don't know what that was.
Dude, the refs this year, like the Detroit game, I think was the biggest experience. Honestly, all year, I think Green Bay's receivers get held like like all the time. And it just never gets called. And in the Detroit game, it was bad. But then also, like, Detroit was like, the push-offs were ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Lot. Yes.
But there's another round later. I know we hit it a little bit. Dude, Detroit, man, I don't know how many more bodies they can throw at this thing. I will say this. Green Bay had 16 players on IR when they won the Super Bowl. Like, you can do it. Jared Goff's going to have to be unbelievable. But I don't know, man. They're honestly, their secondary, you saw it.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what Green Bay was trying to do early on. They just weren't blocking it well, and I think it was just a tough environment to play in, and they're a young team. That's not easy.
Yeah.
Dude, I got a lot. You know what's really funny? I kind of actually hope Dallas makes the playoffs, because this is actually fun watching Cooper Rush. Like, I don't know what it is, Mike McCarthy, but he is the GOAT of, like, making backup quarterbacks potentially get a contract to sign somewhere as a starter. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, he's playing unbelievable. I know it's against, like, Carolina and stuff, but, dude, Carolina was favored. Carolina, like, supposedly Bryce Young is up and coming, and then 3 picks later.
Yeah.
There's another team, man. I don't know about Bryce Young, man. I like him. I think that team has a long way to go, but man,
I still like him. I just think that team needs a lot of work. A lot of work. Now I could be wrong. I mean, I don't think he's as good as everyone thought he was going to be. I will say that. I don't think he's terrible either. I think he could be a solid player.
Honestly, I don't know if C.J. Stroud's that great though either.
Oh, no, because here's the thing nobody's talking about with the Texans. I get their record looks better, but my thing is the defense is a lot better than it was last year. Like, they're really solid this year. Like, their pass rush is good. Their secondary is solid. They're a really good defense. It's just their offense took kind of a step back. Nico Collins has been great, but besides that, like you said, Stroud's been kind of meh. It's okay.
Yeah, Stroud likes to step up in the pocket.
And he can't.
They don't have the dudes up front to allow him to do that. And everybody's been able to, and like he's really struggled with that. Like, and in the NFL, you don't have clean pockets. So unless they go draft and like invest in that, dude, they're in trouble. Like, I mean, I still think his arm talent and the way he's making.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Good. Oh, I'm not saying he ain't gonna be. He ain't gonna be the guy. And like, I still think he's really good. I'm just.
No, it's just interesting, like last year, everyone's like, oh my God, and honestly, this year I could argue, well, Bryce Young's played really well of late. Like, he literally was a drop. There's another guy, like, yeah, dude, you get paid all this money, man. Come on, guys. I'm so tired of wide receivers that drop the ball in the NFL.
Yeah, that's wild.
Stop it. Like, I don't get it.
Well, I blame the scouts too, though. Like, that should be the first thing, hands, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like that, it's great that you can get open, but can you catch? Like, what does that do?
Hey, pride of the Patriot League, though. Coker shout out to Coker from Colgate has an NFL touchdown, man. That was pretty cool for the Panthers. That's pretty sweet, man. That was a long touchdown too. He's a beast. At Colgate, that was pretty cool.
Colgate? He went to Colgate?
Patriot League.
Oh wow.
Colgate.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude. I mean, he looked fast. I was whoa. Sometimes when I watch some of those Patriot League games, you realize, like, yeah, I played in a division where we weren't so fast like Alabama.
Right.
Wait a minute. And so it's cool to see him. That was awesome. That was really, really cool. I love seeing those guys like that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. The Rams, they're interesting. I don't know, man. Like, I still think, like, like they're getting healthy at the right time, but like their offensive line's still a problem.
Oh, dude, they're just a weird. They're just a weird team where if Stafford gets hot, he can give you a game in the playoffs, and that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think their defense is still very suspect.
Terrible, yeah, they're not good. They're not good, dude. Their secondary is not good.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean that's a potential. Like again, Green Bay played them early in the year. That's one where I could see Green Bay having a little bit harder time because, like, Green Bay, like, dude, McVay's always had to play Green Bay in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little different now. You're in LA, and eventually he's going to get one, and this might be the year. I don't know. Like I said, Green Bay's just weird this year. They just haven't really. They haven't put it together consistently, and I think that's going to really hurt them when it matters. I really do. I would not be shocked if Green Bay gets knocked out early, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they made a run.
No,
I think this week's really important for them because this week's a good week to take another step as a team. Do not let this be a trap game against New Orleans because they're going to play and fight because there's guys playing for jobs and coaches playing for jobs too. That's one thing I love about the NFL, man. There's only so many jobs, so
that's what I'm thinking. Good.
Dude, the one thing I do want to talk about, though, this is wild. How many teams in the bottom half of the league are like 3-11? It is wild.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like dude, it is awful. This year is it's like so stacked, and then it's just awful. It's like the way the schedule is, but man, I don't always know if it's like they're just terrible teams or it's bad, dude.
No, I agree.
Cleveland is like 3-11. Which I'm not surprised.
Jacksonville.
It's funny dude, Jacksonville. It's like the perennial losers have come back to reality.
Yeah.
The Giants, the Raiders.
Oh, dude.
I'm missing someone.
Dude, that's my thing with the Ravens, though. We're talking about like these next 2 weeks. If you somehow win both of these games of this 5-day stretch, I mean, dude, your momentum's huge right now for the playoffs. Then you're looking like, hey, we did this. We can do this. Ed, here's the main thing that no one's talking about, though. In that respect, the Ravens need to try to get out of these games without any injuries, too, especially these next two, because it's the Steelers week, which is going to be tough, and you're going to get beat up, and then the Texan game right after that. You got to hope you don't get any injuries, because that's going to be hard. The back-to-back like that, that's going to be really rough. So we'll see what they got.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm worried about.
And also, I guess that might be a playoff matchup. Well, no, because the Chiefs are one, and never mind. The Ravens might end up having to go play Buffalo at Buffalo.
The Ravens might get the one. Might get the
3 seed.
Yeah, but they could win
that. The Ravens are 3 right now, right?
No, they're
would be.
If they beat Pittsburgh, they'll probably have the division lead. So then they'll be 4, right? No, 3. It would be 3. Yeah.
Oh, they're the 4.
They'd be 3. That would be 3.
Yeah, the South. Well, I mean that's an important game for Houston too, because they're like one game back.
Yeah, if they lose, the Ravens can cement the third. If the Ravens win out, and assuming they beat Pittsburgh, which is going to be tough. If they do, they will hold it in their hand to be third if they win those games. So it'll be up to them.
Interesting.
Which would be good because you can avoid playing Buffalo till the end pretty much.
That'll be super interesting. I mean, that's going to be interesting. Anybody has to go to Buffalo because just that weather. As some of you said, they're having a rough year with snow and stuff. So
dude, I do think that favors. I do think that favors the Ravens though in climate weather with Henry, because even you said it. They have a small team. I don't know how you're stopping them if you got to make.
I mean, well, it's going to be remember when the Bengals went in there 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And they just ran the ball and hammered them.
Yep. That's why I'm
that's exactly what's going to happen.
That's why I'm I would not hate that. I'd be hey. Besides, Tom, you know this, and I'm sorry, everybody that watches the Ravens religiously knows this. That team does not, for some reason, get up for home games sometimes. They don't. On the road, they love being the team. We've talked about this. They love being the team where everyone thinks they ain't got a shot. Oh, you ain't that good. And then they play well. The one that they do bad is when you're oh, they're going to win. They're way better. And it's well, maybe not.
honestly, like home field advantage in the NFL anymore, I'm not so sure it exists.
Yeah, it's
like all these teams know how to play. Like, dude, what do you think? All these players, they play in the SEC. Like when you go to Texas A&M and there's 120,000 people in there.
I was gonna say,
no NFL game
I like how you picked the same. I like how you picked the same stadium I was gonna pick because that freaking stadium's crazy. When I always see them play there, I'm like, my God. They talk about every other stadium. I'm like, man, but A&M looks like there's more people. I mean, I know there is, but it looks like crazy because they have like the top seats.
I think you go to
or like
Clemson on a Saturday night, LSU, even Bama, dude. Those are loud talk.
Yeah, crazy,
like,
bro.
Yeah, dude. Go to a Falcon game against Carolina, and there's like 10,000 people in the stands. That ain't hard. I'm sorry. Like I've been to enough of them. It's like, you kidding me? Like, you know, like Seattle's a good atmosphere where you're like, it gets pretty bad. I think Detroit's really good right now because they're winning, and they got a lot of bandwagon fans that are super toxic, but they're coming to Real. I do feel though for all the Lions fans and like in Alliance, that team, that's a Super Bowl team, and that really sucks that they got beat up like they did. It really, really does.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
I do feel bad because it like. I don't feel bad. You know, I will say this, though. I'm not rooting for them because, dude, their fans, like... Yeah. They're literally like the brother that got laid the first time. I'm telling you, man, they're terrible.
No, I agree.
They don't know how to act. Like, they literally don't know how to... Like, they don't understand what winning is.
Yeah.
And they act like idiots and buffoons. So it's kind of sad.
No, I agree. I agree.
You know, that's how it goes, though, when you have 60 years of being a perennial loser, so... Oh, well. Dude, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun.
I got to start getting ready.
Oh, you're good. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Likes, as always, are appreciated. We'll be back next week. But anyway. And as always, subscribe for more content. Tom, say it. As always, what do we say?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.